Have you ever seen a city try to do something so beautiful, so massive it would break a world record and make history? But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless celebration ended in chaos, death, and lawsuits? This is the chilling story of Cleveland's 1986 balloon disaster, a day that was meant for pure joy but quickly turned into a nightmare floating in the sky. It was September 27, 1986. The air in downtown Cleveland was electric with excitement. A nonprofit group, United Way, had a grand plan: release 1.5 million balloons all at once. It was a record-breaking stunt designed to raise money and, more importantly, put Cleveland back on the map in a big, colorful way. Imagine the scene. Volunteers, including hundreds of children, flooded the streets. They spent hours inflating balloons, creating a vibrant, pulsating mass of color under a giant net that stretched over an entire city block. It was an absolutely stunning sight. You had these waves of colorful balloons shimmering under the gray Ohio sky. Reporters were calling it the city's rebirth. It was a symbol of hope and unity. But then, the weather took a turn. Dark, ominous clouds started rolling in. The winds picked up, getting stronger and more unpredictable. Meteorologists and weather experts warned the organizers, urging them to delay the release. The conditions just weren't right, but the pressure was on. The crowds were gathered, the cameras were rolling. They decided to push forward. With a final countdown and a massive cheer from the crowd, the net was released. And then it happened. 1.5 million balloons erupted into the sky in a single, silent explosion of color. For a fleeting moment, it was breathtaking. It was exactly the spectacle they had hoped for. But that moment of awe lasted only seconds. Within minutes, the celebration turned into utter chaos. The balloons, caught in a powerful cold front, didn't soar high into the atmosphere as planned. Instead, a strong downdraft pushed them back down toward the city and out over Lake Erie. This beautiful cloud of color became a suffocating blanket. Balloons clogged the roads, causing traffic to grind to a halt. They tangled in power lines, creating hazards. A nearby airport had to shut down completely as the balloons created a dangerous obstacle for planes. Drivers, blinded by the sudden blizzard of latex, crashed their cars. And somewhere out on the vast expanse of Lake Erie, 2 fishermen had just been reported missing. Rescue teams scrambled, racing against time to find them. But when their helicopter reached the search area, they were met with an impossible sight. The surface of the water was covered, from shore to horizon, in a thick, bobbing blanket of floating balloons. Red, blue, yellow, green, all blending with the choppy waves. In that sea of color, trying to spot a human head or an orange life jacket was like looking for a needle in a haystack. The rescue teams searched for hours, but their efforts were tragically futile. The 2 men were never found alive. What was intended as a symbol of joy and community spirit had become a symbol of profound tragedy. The aftermath was a logistical nightmare for the city. Cleveland was flooded with rubber litter. On a nearby farm, a prize-winning horse was so spooked by the descending balloons that it injured itself and had to be put down. Highways remained closed. Planes were grounded. The fallout didn't end there. The families of the lost fishermen filed multi-million-dollar lawsuits against the organizers. The cleanup operation cost Cleveland hundreds of thousands of dollars, a steep price for a fundraising event. And what about that Guinness World Record? Well, they did achieve it, but it was quickly forgotten, completely overshadowed by the lives lost and the environmental disaster that followed. They called it Balloonfest '86. Looking back, maybe it should have been called something else entirely. The day Cleveland choked on its own celebration. It's a haunting story of good intentions gone terribly wrong. A simple idea meant to bring hope and unite a city became a stark reminder that sometimes even our grandest plans can have unforeseen and devastating consequences. It proves that what goes up must, inevitably, come down. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as compelling as I did, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more deep dives into fascinating events from history. See you in the next one.